Hi, nobodies. I was going to start off by saying, hi, y'all. Howdy, y'all. But I got to start with the way I always do it. So today was a fun day for me. Um, I don't talk about certain things. Well, I mean, I will talk about them, but like, I'm embarrassed. Uh, I remember being a young girl, and if if I had to go to the restroom to take care of my period, I was always like being really covert about getting the tampon out of my purse and putting it in my pocket, where nobody could see, because like in my mind, people knowing that I was on my period was like social humiliation extreme. I mean, I honestly had so many bad experiences, and that trumped the whole I don't want them to know I got a tampon in my pocket. And let's not forget those years that mom wouldn't let me use tampons. So, you're sitting in a chair and you say, "Oh no." And because you know that like the pad is not far enough back, or it's too far back. So you've got an issue going on. And most girls, this is why most girls, what like I think all through junior high I wore shirts that went past my ass. Just in case. And I made sure I wasn't sitting on my shirt. Didn't matter if I was on my period or not. I was like, don't see my figure, don't look at my tits. And it's kind of hard to not notice them back then because I mean I was 12 years old and rocking a D cup. Kind of stuck out. But as an adult, or I think once I was out of school, it was pretty much like I ain't messed up about buying pads, tampons. Just go get them and throw some chocolate in there for good measure. No doubt in the cashier's mind. Pads and chocolate and tampons. Somebody just started. You know, it's my son. And trust me, there were a lot of times I put the chocolate back and then would later get chocolate from somewhere else because I didn't want to put the two together. I'm a weirdo. I'm about the same way about like, when I go get cucumbers. I don't want to spend too much. I'm kind of picky, but I don't want to spend too much time at the cucumber section and look like I'm really just like I cannot stand there and like check out the cucumbers. I just grab some, kind of because I'm like I don't want them to think I'm some weirdo who checks out cucumbers. I don't know. It's something that embarrasses me when I have to go get cucumbers. And I love cucumbers. I love cucumbers and pickles and all that. But picking out cucumbers, I can't I can't really check them too well. I mean, I have to say, is that mushy or not? Because it's not like squeezing an orange or a lemon or something. Anyway, so this week I had a bit of an infection and I had to take antibiotics for the infection. And unfortunately, I don't know because I don't typically ask people. But for me, antibiotics adjust my pH levels in Funland. So problems occur. So then I hit the store for a lovely trip to buy Monistat or something like Monistat, antifungal cream. I hate that it's called that, but I mean, that's what it is. It is what it is, and I mean, it means nothing really, as long as you're not like constantly using them. Uh, but when I've had antibiotics, which normally, like if I would have went to the doctor for the infection that I had, I would have gotten some diflucan, or the other one that's name escapes me, the one pill you take and then you take pill 3 days later. I would have already gotten that. They're pretty good about writing out a script for that if you tell them, hey, antibiotics give me yeast infections, which is kind of weird because they're antibiotics. They cure infections, but they cause an infection. Anyway, had to make the trip. Didn't want to go to Walmart, which Walmart would have been the better idea. I see this now. So I said, well, do I want to go today or tomorrow? And I said, I'll go today. Why wait an extra day? It could get better on its own, but fuck it. So I hit my favorite store. I don't know if it's my favorite store. It's the one I'm always in. So I hit my store after going to the post office, and I didn't hit the store that I normally go to because I was like, I'm not going to go into the store that I go into every day because they know me there. Like I said, I won't buy pads or tampons there either. It's like they know me. God forbid they know. It's like that's my business. So I hit a different store. And I go in there, and when I buy stuff like this, same with if I have to buy X-Lax or Imodium, I'll buy other stuff. I buy stuff I don't need because I don't want to walk up there with the one package. I don't. And trust me, now, granted, when you come up with a single package, the cashiers don't talk about you, but you really have to watch what you put up there. I cannot count how many times I have rung up somebody and they bought rope, condoms, and lube. If you think that the cashiers don't talk about that shit, you are wrong. Cashiers will sit there and go, we got a rapist special today. Rung up a rapist special, And, but I wouldn't call people out on that. I wouldn't say, hey, fun night planned. Nothing like that. Would make note of the person because you never know. They could have been up to something. And of course, anytime condoms and whipped cream were part of the equation, we were giggling inside. I had like a whole internal monologue about different stuff because I wouldn't say anything, but that doesn't stop this right here. Because I'd seriously, because a lot of times customers won't talk to you. So if they are not, see, here's the thing about engaging your cashier. If you engage your cashier, they're not looking at what they're ringing up. So you can buy all sorts of embarrassing shit. They won't notice if you're talking to them. They'll just do it automatic. So I always get a bunch of stuff. Well, go in there and it says these products are kept at the register. So then I was going around the store and I was like, well, do today, or if I go to Walmart, I can get it off the shelf and then just go check out. I can actually do self-checkout, and at the same time I was thinking, well, if I do it today, and I was looking at the register and thinking, well, she's got a bunch of people there. And I felt like somebody who goes like 2 towns away to cheat or to watch porn. It's like, I was like, I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. And so I finally saw my moment, and I go over there and I'm like, okay, I need a box of Monostat. And she's like, excuse me, hon? And in that split second between me saying it the first time and her asking me that, people show up. And I was like, I need a box of Monostat. And she looks at me and she goes, you need some Monostat, honey? Yes, please. And I'm like feeling nervous and stuff. And she goes, well, they're over there on the shelf over there. And I was like, no, there's a sign there that says that I have to come to the counter to get the product. It's hard to talk about it. Because I was like full on embarrassed. And because I mean, there was people behind me and like there were guys. And I was like, okay, so yeah, I need this. Well, she couldn't find it. She was like looking. So she goes and yells to the back of the store, "Hey, John, where do we keep the monostat?" And I was like, oh my God. I looked outside. The parking lot was fucking full. And I'm like, okay, there's a good 15 people in this store that just heard the lady at the counter needs some monostat. It gets worse, though. Oddly enough. Okay, now, like right now, my fingers are going numb just talking about it. It's like, I'm anxious. Um, so he yells up, "It's in the cabinet under register too with all the sex stuff." I couldn't even speak, okay? When she found the stuff, I wanted a specific one. But at that point, I could not speak. I was so embarrassed. Because I mean, think about it. I didn't want the cashier to notice what I was getting in the first place. Now, not only does the cashier know, but all these people that are behind me know, which I won't even bother to look at because, like, I don't want to look them in the eye. You'd think I got found with a carrot stuck up my ass or something, the way I felt about it. And I was just like looking at these people and I wouldn't look at them. And so when she pulled up, I was like, yeah, that's fine. But I couldn't even say it. She's like, this. I didn't even say, I mean, I am always like so nice to cashiers, okay? But when she was like, thank you, have a good night, I did not say a fucking word. I should have been mad, but no, I was just mortified. I was like, oh my God, all those people. Thank God that wasn't my store. Now, see, here's something funny. Now, I was a cashier for many years, like over a decade, I cashiered. Feminine hygiene, probably anything from the quote unquote sex aisle, we were supposed to call out stuff over the intercom. I wasn't calling that out. And I know this one day, this lady come up with some Summer's Eve uh, feminine deodorant spray. And it didn't ring up. Now, I was supposed to call that out over the intercom, or I was supposed to get somebody to call me. I didn't want to talk about it over the intercom. And I knew where the stuff was at, you know, and there was nothing but men on the floor. And I was like, it'll take them forever to get the product. So I grabbed a bagger and I said, hey, because I knew he had trained to be a cashier. I was like, finish ringing up her stuff. I'm going to go do a price check on this. Be right back. So I went right back there, got the stuff, come back. I don't know if she appreciated that, but I guarantee she wouldn't have wanted me to announce over the intercom that she was buying that. Because girls are catty. So, a girl sees another girl buying something like that. Well, I don't know if it's all girls. I only know what goes on in my head, really. But I think, think of nowadays it's like Finding Nemo, with the shark. I'm having fish tonight, So I can't help it. It like happens. So I guess that's why it embarrasses me to go through what I went through, is because I know the thoughts that I think, even though I know that those thoughts are wrong. I still think those things. Like if I see somebody checking out cucumbers, somebody gonna make a trip to the ER with that lodged in their butt? If it's a man. Sorry. My brain goes weird places. So I guess I mean, but I would never say it to somebody. I would never mess with somebody, if my daughter come up and said something to me. And if I wouldn't have been so mortified, I probably would have played it off. I mean, because I kind of do that. I might have said, no, my mom wants the 3-day. She doesn't want that one, you know, because you've got options. You got creams and suppositories, and then you've got uh 1 day, 3-day, 5-day, 7-day. You got options. Name brand, off brand. I was beyond that. The first thing she grabbed was like, but I couldn't speak. I literally could not speak. My throat was constricted. I was like, I can't believe she put me on blast like that. I would never do that to a chick or a dude. I have to put that in there right now. If a dude come in and bought the stuff, I would feel sorry for him, because I would never send a man in for feminine hygiene products for 2 reasons. One, they're going to come back with the wrong thing. Okay, 3 reasons. They're going to come back with the wrong thing. 2, half the time, I don't know what I'm going to get. I'll walk over there and look at the, like pads and stuff. I'm like, which one? There's so many. Which one do I want? So, and if they're out of it, if they're out of what you got the time before, then you've got to pick another. So men are not equipped for that kind of thinking. They don't know. Unless they're really well trained and their wife is very specific and just happens to be one of those people who doesn't get confused. I get confused. I never know what I've got at the house. And, what do I normally get? I don't know. It's too many choices. And number 3, they're in there buying feminine. I mean, nothing says whipped. So I ain't gonna mess with a whipped man. I'm not gonna make fun of a whipped man. I'll leave that up to other dudes. I just ring up his stuff and act like I didn't even notice. Because, see, men will go in there and buy exactly what they're in there for. So they're just buying the one item. And I was like, well, that kind of takes balls, because they'll get shit from their buddies. And in my head, they're getting shit. I'm like, ooh, you whipped. But I never send guys for that, because it's like, just like with my daughters, if they send me for something, I'm like, well, do you want wings? Long? Maxi? Like, what do you want? Do you want 4-channel? Do you want the kind that's like a pillow? Or the ones that got grooves in it? I mean, there's like a lot to ask about, and so I have to ask, what kind do you need? Oh, but it is embarrassing to ask those questions. It's embarrassing for me. That was something that was not talked about in my house. And I wish it would have been. Because some people, they ain't messed up about it. And God love them for that. Because I'm like, I can't. But let me tell you a true story. If you've got a young girl at home, don't be afraid to talk about when they might need monostat, because you don't want your 8-year-old daughter, 9-year-old daughter, somewhere in there. You don't want them looking at stuff in the cabinet and thinking, I've got an itch, and then they go and put something like Blue Star ointment on there, or Camphofenique, rubbing that all in. That is not an experience you want them to have. So even if it's uncomfortable, talk to your daughters about that. So, because I don't know if they'll take that initiative, or if they'll come to mom and say, hey, I got an issue. But trust, they don't want to put Blue Star ointment down there. I imagine Benadryl green wouldn't work too well either. As far as that Blue Star ointment lit me up when I was a kid, because mama didn't talk about that. I don't even remember if I ended up telling her that. I don't remember what happened about all that, but I do remember thinking, well, I put that on my bug bites. So, yeah, I overshared tonight. But you know what? I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to keep it 100% real on that. Because we really, no female should feel embarrassed to talk about things that are natural. I mean, it's understandable that you don't want to talk to men about your heavy flow and shit like that, because face it, it's gross. It's natural, but it's gross. Or at least I was always told it's gross. I mean, I guess there's some people that think it's not gross. I think it's gross, and I don't talk about it most of the time while it's happening. Um, but we shouldn't be ashamed. We shouldn't be ashamed if you take antibiotics and it causes a pH imbalance. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's not an STD. And even an STD, I mean, sometimes it's not your fault. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Before I share more about things that happen in Funland that we should be able to talk about, but people think is inappropriate and I am embarrassed by. So, anyway, other than that little deal, I had a pretty good day. I'm surprised I didn't break. So, I hope your day was good. I hope that kind of thing doesn't happen to you. Have a good night.